Welcome to my devlog series where I document the challenges I undertake each month using Unreal Engine's free for the month assets. The rules of the challenge are, as always, I must use at least one of Epic's free for the month assets. I shouldn't spend more than 1 week of effort on the project for the whole month. I must make a video reviewing the assets and what was learned. The assets this month are actually pretty self-explanatory. We have Underwater World, Isometric World, Sky Temple, Big Star Station Lumen, Endless Random Procedural Worlds, Mediterranean Rustic Interior. Lots of worlds this month, but let's jump right into a quick review of the assets I used. First off, Big Star Station. The author does a lot of grandstanding about how modular and highly detailed this asset is, which I can agree with mostly, but the modularity is heavily impacted by how many assets are only usable from the author's intended angle. I understand from a performance or optimization perspective why they would do this, but optimization should be done with respect to the end environment. These types of things severely impact the ability to kit bash something new. The other issue I had is that there's really no ability to easily modify the colors and materials of the assets to give more variation. Next we have Endless Random Procedural Worlds. This plugin, while functional and easy to use, is, if anything, too simple. The entirety of this plugin could probably have been explained in a 10-minute video. Charging $180 for this is kind of insane. In fact, if you take a look at the price history, it started at a much more reasonable $25. And there are some suspicious jumps that I'm guessing coincided with 50% off or more sales. This would make the plugin look cheaper to first-time visitors, but it's really just the same price as it always is. The last comments I have for this asset are that this is just the most basic and bare bones version, and to get anything better, the author wants you to go offsite and pay even more there. But even on the Epic Store, the author has another plugin which handles 3D and was originally $40, but suddenly rose in price to $100 this month and has a maximum price of $180 historically. Moving on from that, we have Infinity Blade Adversaries. This is a free pack from Epic. Not all meshes come with animations, but the meshes that do can probably just have their animations retargeted. In short, free and good for prototyping. Not really surprising considering it's first-party content. Next up is Paragon Wraith, another free asset from Epic that needed just a little bit of tweaking and is an amazing resource for prototyping. You should definitely check these before buying any other character or animation packs. These Paragon packs have a pretty decent chance of getting you basically what you need for the early stages. And finally, we have Stylized Shooting VFX Niagara. Pretty simple overall, not the best, but useful in a pinch. Now let's move on to some gameplay. Real life was pretty busy this month, so I took it easy and decided to try to slap together an endless horde shooter thing with what time I did have. The thing that took the most time was probably kit bashing the level assets, and beyond that, getting the nav mesh to work properly. Well, getting it to mostly work, I should say. I didn't have enough time to really fix all the problems, so sometimes the nav mesh regeneration ends up taking a really long time, and the enemies just stop being able to move until it finishes. There's got to be a better way to work with nav mesh and streaming level instances, but I couldn't find a good answer quickly enough. The other thing that was more fun, but took a bit of time to tune, was the enemy behavior. It's extremely simple as all they want to do is attack you, but tuning things so they don't immediately overwhelm you, but still tend to group up and move like a horde was pretty satisfying once I got it working the way I wanted. I didn't bother implementing any different kinds of enemies since I figured it would be more interesting to focus on weapon variations. I was able to add 3 weapons. The shotgun, a short-range AoE that increases area as you level it up, the rifle, a long-range piercing shot that increases fire rate per level, the rocket, a random AoE that increases the number of projectiles per level. Implementing the enemies and player character with Epic's asset was almost trivial. They really provided a lot of useful content. I had never bothered using them before, so I'm glad I tried them out this time around. As for the other assets I used from this month's haul, I'd say if you got them for free, great, they have their uses. Otherwise, be very careful with your money for what you're getting. Overall, given the time I had available, I think it turned out pretty well. Feel free to let me know what you think here or at my Discord link in the description.